Obviously, you and Peter Maivia, you tagged together, you were friends. Talk to me and the listeners a little bit about what Peter's reaction was when he found out that you were dating his daughter.
He didn't like it at first because he knew that wrestlers had girlfriends in every town, and he didn't want his daughter to be in that position. But he found he adapted to it. And he caught on when he found out that we were in love and I wasn't running around on her, and we ended up getting married. And me and him became the best of friends. We traveled together, we drank together, partied together, and wrestled together.
Man, that's a good relationship. A lot of people would be envious of that with their father-in-law.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah, but
what did
me and him. One thing that bothered me, he was in Texas, and he was a Texas champion. I was in California, and he called me to come because he wanted to be near his daughter and his grandson, Dwayne. And I said, okay. So I went into Texas, and I stayed a week, and he was the champion. So the second week, they took the belt from him, and then the third week, they give it to me. And I kind of felt awkward about that,
Yeah.
But it didn't bother him a bit,
Sure. Well, one of the things you write about later in the book was, Peter's final moment there. What did it mean for you to have him tell you that he loved you right before he passed away?
I can't describe it because I broke out with goosebumps and cold chills because he was laying there dying, and he said, I won't see you alive no more. And I told him, yeah, I know, because I went to see him before. I was in Oregon, and I went to see him before he passed when he was in the hospital with cancer, and he said, take care of my wife and my daughter and grandson. And I said, I will. And then I left, and 2 weeks later, I went back to Portland. 2 weeks later, he passed. But my wife and boy went back for the funeral. I didn't want to go back and see him after he passed away because he wouldn't know if I was there or whatever. And I wanted to see him while he was still living, and he still had his mind, together.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your son, Dwayne The Rock, very famous man, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You talk about how when he was a kid, he obviously really took to you and the wrestling stuff, but you were kind of hopeful he wouldn't become a wrestler. Why were you hopeful that he would maybe pick a different route?
Because I didn't want him to go through what I had to go through. I didn't, like he said later, Dad, you were a pioneer. You paved the roads for other wrestlers, mostly the blacks. So, but he said, you paved the road. He said, I don't think I could have done it. I said, yeah, you could if you had no choice. I didn't have a choice. So I kind of discouraged him. I didn't know there was going to be such a big change like it is now,
Yeah. And,
But I said, okay, I'll train you, but I'll train you 150%, and then do it. And I trained him, and the rest is history.
What were some of the things that he took quickly to, and what were some of the stuff that was harder for him to understand?
I don't think there was anything harder because he grew up in the wrestling business, and when the VCRs first came out with the tapes, he would we set up a camera, and he's sitting in his bedroom. He'd do interviews, and he'd talk about, I'm Hulk Hogan, I'm Rocky Johnson, I'm Jimmy Snuka. And then every night we'd hear crash. We'd go in the room. He'd be on the dresser doing backflips from the dresser to the bed, breaking the bed every night. So I think like he told me when he was in football, and and he won the national championship in that. And he said later on he told me that he just used that as a stepping stone to get where he wanted to go, make his first step and get a college education, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and can you just to kind of wrap up one more thing about him? One of the things I thought that you wrote about and were very transparent about was now that he's so super famous, you have 1 million friends, and all these people think that they can just ask things.
Oh yeah,
of
I got
and
friends
Dwayne.
now I don't even know, and I get them on the end. They're either texting me or Sheila saying you don't remember me, but I did this, and everybody's got a business proposal, and all it takes is $50,000. All it takes is $100,000, and we can make $1 million. I said, well, I got $1 million, so I don't need to go into anything because half of them I don't know who I'm talking to.
That's funny.
I have them. I have them, especially Sheila, my wife. She has them where they're calling saying, well, he don't remember me, but I'm his kid from 40 years ago, stuff like that. Well, I used to be his girlfriend, and they still do that today. They'll call her and tell her, well, I'm his girlfriend. I went out with him 30 years ago. Maybe they did. I don't know. But why are you bringing it up now? You know.
Man, the shamelessness of people. I'll never be surprised. I guess. You know.
Yeah, right. I'll never understand it either.